Raj. Today we will learn about selection statements. Selection statements are statements used to select among statements depending on conditions. For example, you can buy chips or not. Let's suppose you have 20 rupees, you can buy chips, otherwise you can't buy chips. So understand this with this flow chart. If rupees are 20, condition is true, then you can buy chips. If this condition is false, then you can't buy chips. So now there are two types of selection statement, if-else statement and switch statement. In this if-else we have four categories: if, if-else, if-else if, and nested if. So now we explain it in detail. First of all, we explain if and if-else statements. So the syntax of if statement is like if we give condition in these parentheses and then statement we want to execute. If this condition is true, the statement is executed. So the syntax of if-else is like if we give condition in this parentheses and then write statement 1, else we can write another statement 2. When if becomes true, for example, if this condition becomes true, then statement 1 executes. If this condition becomes false, statement 2 executes. Understand with the help of flowchart. If the condition is true, it executes a statement. If this condition is false, it executes a second statement. So now I explain it by writing a C++ program. So this is the dev C++ compiler and we can write different C++ programs in it. So according to our situation, I ask the user to enter how many rupees do you have in the variable named rupees. So I want to execute two statements: you can buy chips or you can't buy chips. So now we write the conditions according to these statements. Like if we give condition in this parenthesis, rupees are 20. So now we use this curly braces. So now I use the else block. Now I again use this curly braces and write the statement in these curly braces. Take this program and execute it and then see what happens. So as you can see that it asks us to enter how many rupees do you have. I said 20. It enters you can buy chips. As my condition is true, so it displays the statement in this if block, you can buy chips. Now we again execute it and write some other number and then see what happens. Now I write 10. It displays you can't buy chips. As my condition is false, 10 is equal to 20. This condition is false, so it moves to else block and displays you can't buy chips. So now we comment the else block and then we can see that if can run without else. So now I comment these. So now we execute it and then see what happens. I said 20, you can buy chips. So we can see that the if statement runs without else block. So if my condition is false, then see what happens. So now I false my condition by writing 10. Then it displays nothing. So now there is nested if else. If within if is called nested if. Its syntax is like if condition and then we write another if in this outer if block. If again the condition and then its statement we want to execute, and then I use the else of this outer if and then I write a statement 2. It has three forms that we can write if nested inside if part. Like this: if nested inside this outer if part, if nested inside else part. Like we can write this inner if in this else block also. And the third is if nested inside both if part and else part. Like this: if and else, and now I can write inner if in both if block and both else block. So now we explain it. If condition 1, and then write inner if, else, and then write inner if. So understand it with the help of this flowchart. If my condition 1 is true, then it moves to condition 2. If this condition 2 is true, then it executes the statement 1. If this condition 2 is false, then it executes the statement 2. And now if condition 1 is false, it directly moves to else block, and then it checks the condition 3. If this condition 3 is true, it executes statement 3. If this condition 3 is false, it executes statement 4. This is our program, so we have to write these two conditions in this nested if. So first of all, I changed my condition, rupees greater than or equal to 20. So now I write the if in this if block. If I write the condition rupees are, let's suppose, less than or equal to 50. Now use the curly braces here. So now if this condition rupees less than or equal to 50 is true, then it executes a statement you can buy a chip. So now I use another if in this else block. I write the condition rupees are, let's suppose, less than 20. There I use curly braces. So now if this condition is true, rupees less than 20, it displays a statement you can't buy chips. Now we execute the program and then see what happens. So there I write 30. It displays you can buy chips. It checks the condition rupees greater than or equal to 20. It is true, so it moves to inner if, rupees less than or equal to 50. So it displays you can buy chips. Now we again execute it and write some other number and then see what happens. Now I write 10. It displays you can't buy chips. First of all, it checks the condition rupees greater than or equal to 20. It is false, so it directly moves to this else block, and then in else block it checks the condition rupees less than 20. It is true, so it displays a statement you can't buy chips. Now there is the alternative of nested if, which is called else if. Its syntax is like if we write the condition and the statement we want to execute, and then else if we again write some other condition and then statement, and then else if, condition, and then statement, and this process so on. This is on the basis of our requirement in the program. So now we explain it with the help of C++ program. So there is a program and we have to write these two statements according to else if. So now we write conditions. If rupees are, let's suppose, is equal to 20. Now I use this braces. And according to else if syntax, we have to write another statement in the else if block. Else if. Now I write condition rupees are, let's suppose, less than 20. Now I use curly braces. Now I write another else if, and then the condition rupees are, let's suppose, greater than 50. Then I want the statement you can buy a tin of Coke. So now we execute it and see what happens. So I enter the rupees 20. It displays you can buy chips. my condition in this first if is true, it displays a statement that follows it. Now I again execute it. Now I write 15. It displays you can't buy chips. First it checks this, it is false, then it moves to next else if. It is true, so it displays the statement you can't buy chips. Now I again execute it and then write some other number and then see what happens. So now I write 60. It displays you can buy a tin of Coke. First of all, it checks this condition, rupee is equal to 20, condition is false, so it moves to this else if, rupees less than 20, it is also false, so it moves to this else if, rupees are greater than 50, 60 is greater than 50, it is true, so it displays a statement, you can buy a tin of Coke. There is switch statement. The switch statement is used when we have to select one option out of many alternatives. Its syntax is like switch, and then we have to give the expression in these parentheses. The expression is actually the variable we want to use in the switch statement, and then we have to write the cases, and then statement 1 and then break, then second case, then statement 2 and then break, and these cases so on according to our requirements in the program. And at the end of all these cases we have to use default. If all these cases are not true, then it executes the statement which is written in default. Then we explain it with the help of flowchart. So now there is a flowchart. It first of all gives the expression and checks it, and then it directly executes the statement block which is true. If all these cases are not true, it executes the statement in this default. Now we explain it by writing a C++ program. Now there is a program and we have to display these three statements according to switch syntax. So now we write switch and we have to give the expression in these parentheses. Expression is with a variable which is rupees, and there we have to write the cases. Case is actually the condition, so I write 20. If case is 20, it displays statement you can buy chips, and then I use break to exit from the switch body. Then I write other case, like I write case 10. If case is 10, it displays statement you can't buy chips. Then I use break, and at last I use the default. If these both conditions are not true, so it moves to default and displays the statement that is written in default, you can buy a tin of Coke. So now we execute it and see what happens. Let's suppose I write 20, you can buy chips. It checks that what expression we have to write, 20, so it directly moves to that case which is true and displays the statement. So now we again execute it. Now I write some other number like 30. It displays you can buy a tin of Coke because it sees that 20 and 10 are not true, so it moves to default, you can buy a tin of Coke. Now there is the difference between switch versus if-else. In switch, the expression is tested for equality only, and in if-else, the expression can be tested for inequality as well as greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. And the second point is only one value is used to match against all case labels, because we have only one expression, and in expression we have one variable which is used to match in all case labels. But in if-else, multiple expression can be tested for branching. And the third point is switch case is not affected when checking for a range value, while in if-else is better option to check ranges. The switch case cannot handle the floating point values like decimal values, but the if-else can handle floating point values. The fifth point is the case label must be constant, character of integers, while in if-else can use variables also for conditions. And the last point is switch statement provides a better way to check a value against a number of constants, while an if-else is not suitable for this purpose.
Thank you so much for watching my video.